Hi everyone, Jake here and welcome to another episode of Wonderkid to Superstar. Today's player in focus is a central defender who I think is guaranteed to be well beaten, and I want you guys to let me know in the comments, after watching it all of course, what you think of him. Is he the best Wonderkid central defender on FM22? Hi everyone, welcome to the FMSCOUT channel. In these Wonderkid to Superstar episodes, we take a Wonderkid, put them on the high end of their potential range and see what a player might look at by the end of his career if you were to sign him. But today's is a little bit different because usually we're saying if you get this player on the high end of his potential range, he's going to be an amazing player, and if it's on the low end, you'll do okay. In this case, I think even on the lowest side, even just straight off the bat, this Wonderkid is good enough to play for most sides in the world. He's really that good. In my opinion, a guaranteed world beater, but I want to see what you guys think. Before we get into the video though, I'd like to ask you guys, and I know we do it every time, but it really does help if you could smash the like button. It just supports the channel so much and helps the videos do better than you'll ever know. It really does have that much of an impact. Subscribe if you haven't already, comment your rating out of 10 for the player down below, and feel free to check out my channel and my Wolfsburg save, linked in the description. But with that being said, you're all here to check this guy out, so am I. Let's go and take a look at him. So, if you head over to Dynamo Kiev in the Ukrainian divisions, you will find Ilya Zabrany, an 18-year-old Ukrainian centre-back who looks very, very good already and is on an incredible level. He already has 14 caps for the Ukrainian national team, already very experienced for a player of his age. He's played a full season near enough for Dynamo Kiev before he's even reached the age of 18, so he really is an impressive player who is a long way into his development compared to some players of his age group. Now that does come with a bit of a hindrance in the fact that his price range is pretty pricey. You're going to be looking at around £30 million for this guy. Now that can change season on season, it can change save upon save, but I think he is fully worth the money. You get a centre-back who is going to be top draw for a minimum of 10 years at your club. He is really that good, world class in basically every save that you run. He does have a potential range of 140 to 170, but because of how good he starts off, I think he's almost guaranteed always to be a great player. Just because even if he never improved from this point, and of course he will, he's 18, but if he never improved from this point, he'd still do a very good job because he's physically very well rounded, mentally very well rounded, technically, guess what? He's very well rounded. You'll also see that across a lot of saves, Zabrany is classed as a consistent player, and that has a massive impact on how people play in the match engine. If you haven't already checked it out, check out my most overpowered players video I did recently, and that'll explain everything about what makes these players so good in the Football Manager engine. But yeah, Zabrany, as we can see, incredible player, right-footed, maybe not the world's best ball player at this stage, but he's still a very nice centre-back and he will develop to a crazy level. So let's quickly switch him over to our team Real Madrid and see how we're going to make him, how we're going to guarantee this guy becomes a world-class centre-back. Okay, so we've brought Zabrany over to our Real Madrid side. The 18-year-old is going to slot in our 4-2-3-1 gegenpress tactic. Very little has changed from the preset, only a couple of player roles, but nothing specifically added for Zabrany. He's not at front post for corners or anything like that. We're not going to abuse the system just to make him look better. He is just in our team and he's going to be playing consistently for this Real Madrid side. We're not doing anything too special training-wise, just double intensity, focusing on the position I want him to play, and we'll see how he develops. We'll see how he develops naturally without an additional focus on any area. You might suggest if you want a ball player, passing and vision need to be focused in on, because he does have a tries long range passes trait, which without the vision and the passing ability might not work too well, but we're not looking for him to ball play too much in this system, just be a strong centre-back. He's being mentored by some of the best, and I'm very excited, and I've seen some of the simulation, haven't looked at it in full detail, but I know he does very well. So with that being said, I hope you're all ready to hop into the time machine. We're going to head a few years in the future, see how Zabrany's career is started by the age of about 21, 22. Let's go take a look. Okay, here we are, 2024, about to head into our 4th season with Zabrany at the club. Now, I'm absolutely loving the way that this guy is progressing. He's classed as, in terms of ability, let's have a look, he's up there with some of the better players in the team. Not quite a world-class player just yet, but at the age of 21, I would argue, even though his star rating isn't off the charts at this point, I'm not too bothered. If you don't already know, I've explained it before, but the star rating really isn't the be-all and end-all of Football Manager. It's actually quite misleading. But if we look purely on a technical attribute standpoint, This guy is already, in my opinion, world class. Now, if you want to know, about 3 seasons in here, he actually has a current ability midway between his potential range. He's within the 154, 156 mark currently in terms of current ability. So in a sense, in an average save, this might be the kind of player that you can develop. And straight away, I'm absolutely loving everything we're seeing here. Physically impeccable, no issues there at all. Quick, strong, good in the air, naturally fit, agile with great balance. The perfect modern day centre back. Now, seeing how good he is physically and mentally, I'd forgive you for thinking, well, maybe it's his technicals where he lacks. No, he can pass decently now. He can tackle very well, and he can mark like most players could only dream of. He's great at heading, and whilst there isn't too many more standing out technical attributes, he is going to develop. He's going to become a better ball player as time goes on. He does need to develop that technique a bit, but the fact that his composure is so high, it will benefit him a lot in the back of that defence. I'm a big fan. Now that he's been at the club for a few years, we can see his coach report is glistening with great things to say about this boy. And if we look, 3 years have gone very well so far. Straight away, right off the bat, playing in one of the biggest teams in the world, he's managed to get a 7.26 average match rating at the age of 18. I've told you right from the off, this guy is already more than good enough. And he's kept that up for the next couple of years. He's got better and better. No crazy amount of goals, no crazy amount of assists. You wouldn't expect it from a centre-back who's not being asked to ball play. But if we're looking purely on an average rating standpoint, he is as solid as central defenders get. And we're very happy with our purchase from Dynamo Kiev. But how will he look at full growth? Okay guys, here we are in 2034. I went a lot further than I thought I would, but Ilya Zabrany is now one of the best players at the whole club. He is a real superstar. Before we look at him though, I'd like to ask you guys, and I know I've done this regularly, but if you want to check out my channel in the description, I'd greatly appreciate it. Any support over there, if you hit the subscribe button, watch one video, decide you never want to come back, whatever it might be, I appreciate you just going over there and checking it out. See what you think, Let's Play style stuff, a Wolfsburg series, and random one-off rebuilds with a new series on the way soon. Any support, I'd be very, very thankful. But back to the reason you're here. And Ilya Zabrany, now 31 years of age with 108 caps for the Ukraine national team. He is as consistent gets at centre-back. Mr. Consistent is unreal. Attribute wise, he is now at full growth. He's at 170 current ability. This is the maximum you'll ever see him. We haven't focused any additional areas. He's just developed in the way that the game thinks he should do for a player in that position. Physically, completely well-rounded to another level actually. Everything is so good, and if only his balance and acceleration were one more, we'd have a physical monster, every attribute being 16 or higher. So fair play to him there. He is a physical beast. The right-footed centre-back mentally has grown on a ton as well. Decision-making, composure, concentration, anticipation, positioning, I could list them all. They are all very good. His technique, marking, tackling, passing, heading is all on a crazy level. I'm very happy with what's turned out here with Zabrany. At the age of 31, his price isn't what it used to be, but that's what you expect for a player of that age. He is on an incredible level in this defence, and you can see how he's performed across the years in that position. I don't need to say too many words to describe to you here just how consistently good this man has been. For this Real Madrid side, he is very rarely, I think only on 3 occasions, dropped below a 7.5 average match rating across the course of a whole Spanish league season. That is incredibly impressive for a centre-back. We can even see here a 7.91 average match rating in the year when he turned about 30. He has been insanely good, insanely consistent, one of the best centre-backs in world football, and he has won so many competitions with Real Madrid. He's been absolutely fantastic and a key member in what we've done here in this simulation. He's been a big part of the history of the World Team of the Year too, consistently appearing in that. He has just been an incredible centre-back to have at the club. We've built the whole team around him, never had to get rid of him. He is just, if you're looking for a sign-in to revolutionise your defence, you have got this man. That is exactly what you need. Buy this man and you will be fine. So there he is, my man Ilya Zabrany. He's not exactly someone that's flew under the radar in Football Manager senses. I think a lot of people know how good he is, but how good he can become is another question. If you really stick with him, let him get to a prime age. I mean, he's already very good right at the start, but in his prime, I'd argue there's going to be no one better than this in world football that can compete to this attribute level. He is so good If you wanted to focus in on his passing and make him a ball player, you could do that. Clearly here, a lot of work has gone into his mentals and his physicals as opposed to his technicals, but even still, he is absolutely fantastic. Let me know what you think of him. Rate him out of 10 in the comments below. I'm giving him a 9. The only reason he's not a 10 is probably his price point. I haven't seen many better than this, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Feel free to check out my videos on my own channel, linked in the description. But most of all, have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you next time. Thank you and goodbye.